A very good evening. You're watching Nation at 5. I'm Akanksha Swaroop. Let's begin this top segment with our focus on Karnataka because 2 years after the Hubballi riots, the Karnataka government has withdrawn the old Hubballi police station riots case against the legal and the police department in Karnataka. The case against AIMIM leaders Mohammad Arif and others has been withdrawn after Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka DK Shivakumar wrote to the government requesting that the case be dropped. Arif and other AIMIM leaders have been accused of leading a mob that attacked the police station and threatened to storm the police station. The criminal case with attempt to murder, rioting and other serious charges were pressed against Arif and 138 others. The Chief Minister, of course, has defended this entire decision, saying that the Cabinet has all the powers to do so. On the other hand, Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivakumar has evaded the entire question. Now remember, a Muslim mob had gathered outside the old Hubballi police station on the night of 16th of April back in the year 2022 to protest against a derogatory social media post and later went on a rampage damaging police vehicles, even public property. 4 policemen were injured in the stone pelting. Police had to resort to lathi charge after the entire incident. And now let's quickly bring you the latest reactions, including that of the Karnataka Chief Minister.
ಕೋರ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಸರ್ಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಕೆಲವು ಮೊಕದ್ದಮೆಗಳನ್ನು ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಇದೆ. ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಸಬ್ಕಮಿಟಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೋಮ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಬೇಕಿತ್ತು, ಅವರವ್ರ ವಿವೇಚನೆಯಿಂದ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಅದನ್ನು ಒಪ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೆ. BJPಯವರಿಗೆ ಸುಳ್ಳು ವಿಚಾರಗಳ ಮೇಲೇ ಹೋರಾಟ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಯಾವಾಗ ಸತ್ಯದ ವಿಚಾರಗಳಿಗೆ ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಹೋರಾಟ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಸುಳ್ಳು ವಿಚಾರಗಳಿಗೆ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಹೋರಾಟ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ BJPಯವರು ಅಲ್ವಾ.
Whenever the case is filed under UAP, it is a very serious case. It is normally used against the terrorist-related activity. High Court, Supreme Court denied the bail. Some of the ministers, some of the MLAs of the Congress party, they wrote to the government, Chief Minister and the Home Minister that cases should be withdrawn. For that, a positive comment was noted on the file and it was sent to the concerned department. As far as I know, the police department and the Ministry of Law of the state government, they have opposed the withdrawing of the case. In spite of that, they have withdrawn it. That means, in a way, they are supporting Islamic fundamental activities.
The Karnataka government has decided to withdraw all cases against the accused in the Hubballi police station riots case. So what is the reasoning behind this?
We will all discuss later.
The Congress always stands for divisive politics, appeasement politics, vote bank politics. Time and again they have been exposed. Even been exposed, they have been really been unreasonable, very unreasonable when it comes to the appeasement. Why they can't apply the similar justice or similar kind of consideration should be given to all section of society. How can you withdraw case against the Hubballi incident? How can they withdraw? You tell me, how can they withdraw? It is really bad on them. They have taken, it is really questionable.
All right, we're getting in breaking inputs. In fact, now we are learning that a Bangalore-based advocate has written to the Chief Secretary and he has objected to the Hubballi riots entire case being withdrawn. He has in fact gone on to quote the Supreme Court order in the Shivanandan Paswan versus State of Bihar case. And alluding to this entire case, he's going on to say that such a riot case cannot be withdrawn by the state government. So you have it over there, a Karnataka advocate already objecting, and he's in fact quoting a previous case, alluding to this case where he's quoted what the Supreme Court order had to say in the Shivanandan Paswan versus State of Bihar case, that such a riot case cannot be withdrawn. And remember, as far as Siddaramaiah is concerned, he's saying that the cabinet is very well in the position to do so. In fact, let's quickly bring in Harish, who's joining us on the broadcast. Harish, important to also highlight why this particular case, which was challenging the State of Bihar, has been quoted.
Well, because the kind of observations made in that in this particular case that has been mentioned, the court goes on to say that the state government can't drop such cases because of the grave nature of charges mentioned in that. And there is a similarity with what has happened in several other cases. Even in the riot case that happened in Bengaluru, even there the High Court had made observations that there needs to be some sort of a strict rule on how governments go about such cases, and the accused in those cases have all the right to go to the court and seek relief. But the government can't go ahead, jump guns and give relief, or rather in a blanket order discharge the whole case.
Right.
So there are precedents where the High Court or various courts have intervened to say governments dropping cases in such a manner is not something that's good for the system.
You know, considering we've seen that objections have of course been overlooked by the Siddaramaiah government, and those objections coming in from the law department, even the prosecution and the police department, considering they have been overlooked, are these bodies in a position to challenge the decision taken by the state government?
Well, if somebody in fact goes to the Karnataka High Court challenging this decision of the Karnataka cabinet, then it could drag in the Karnataka cabinet into a long argument where they might not have too much to defend their decision with, because their own departments have said this is something that they believe is not a fit case for withdrawal. So all three departments have given that opinion, it's on record. At the same time, the government doesn't have any finding of any committee which has said that there are people who are innocent in this case who have been booked, so they need to be given relief. That is also missing. It's merely on a letter written by the Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister that the government has decided to proceed with it and overrule objections given by some of its own departments. So how will the Karnataka government then defend this decision? That's the question here. The Chief Minister says the cabinet has the powers to do that, yes, but they do need to give answers on the reasoning behind it.
Absolutely, Harish. In fact, I'm going to also request you to continue staying with us before we also deep dive into how the entire political narrative is shaping up. But before we do that, let's also listen into all the political reactions that have come in. Let's listen into what Priyank Khadge has to say in defense of the Congress party.
On what grounds has the cabinet decided to drop these cases? There were very important charges against them, which included attempted murder, inciting violence, rioting. BJP is accusing your government of once again indulging in appeasement politics.
Either the BJP does not know how to read a case, or they are intentionally doing this. Yesterday in the cabinet, more than 43 cases were withdrawn, which were duly vetted by the local police station, the regional hierarchy, as well as the cabinet subcommittee. And the reasons have been very specifically given why cases are being withdrawn, not only on just them, but also on farmers, on Dalit activists, and anybody else who have, with miscellaneous complaints, they have filed cases on these associations as well.
No,
and
but that's the question that's being asked, that on what grounds, sir, if I may just finish, on what grounds they have been dropped, because there were objections from the prosecution, from the police and from the law department as well?
So when it comes to the cabinet subcommittee, it comes through recommendations from right from the local police station and high up. And let's say there is some, there has been some rioting or any other case that has happened, they will add. They will have A1, A2, they will name a few and they will write others. And in the name of others, everybody is being harassed. So, and just for your information and for the information of BJP, there are 2-3 cases of BJP MLCs also that have been withdrawn. For example, Mr. C.T. Ravi's case, who is a sitting MLC and is a former minister, his case also has been withdrawn for blocking the highway.
Yesterday, Cabinet headed by the Chief Minister Siddaramaiah took a decision of withdrawing almost 60 cases in the state of Karnataka. BJP makes a politics out of all this by being very selective, especially targeting the minorities of the state. It is not good in the interest. Recently, the Prime Minister was talking about the recent statement saying that Congress always believes in dividing Hindus. There is no question of division of Hindus as such. Here it is a kind of classic case to say that BJP has taken up a case of Hubballi Riots and selectively talking against the minorities why the case should be withdrawn as such. But other matters which are in the purview of the state government and which should allow the society to reform itself and come to a mainstream. That is an idea of withdrawing all the 60 cases. Many recommendations are made by the previous former ministers, including C.T. Ravi as such.
This was a very, very serious allegation. There were attacks on a police station. Over 158 people were involved in this case of serious rioting. There were injuries which was caused to police personnel. But it seems that for selfish interests of politics, that is why in case of, like I said, the Karnataka government is only practicing politics of appeasement. I'm really, really shocked to see that the Deputy Chief Minister, Shri Shivakumar, actually wrote to the Karnataka Police Department asking for withdrawal of these cases, and this is in contravention to the report submitted both by the Police Department as well as the Law Department.
Such people who were behind this attack have been given a clean chit and the cases have been withdrawn despite the objection from Law Department and Police Department because Congress keeps vote bank first. Today it is clear that Congress is in alliance with not just SDPI and PFI, whose cases it has withdrawn earlier, but also with MIM. And therefore, they have put vote bank interest above state interest, above national interest, above interest of the people. If you recite Hanuman Chalisa or play Hanuman Chalisa and you are beaten up, then the FIR is done on the victim itself. This is the state of affairs in Karnataka under the Siddaramaiah government. It is completely capitulating and it is prostrating before Islamic fundamentalists for vote bank purposes.
All right, and with that, another controversy brewing in Karnataka itself. The COVID scam probe in the state continues to peak. The alleged COVID scam during former Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa's tenure is currently under the scanner, as the Karnataka cabinet has decided to form a special investigation team to probe the entire scam. This SIT will investigate officials and politicians linked to the irregularities, and former Health Minister Sudhakar may also face action for his role during the BJP regime. A cabinet subcommittee will oversee the investigation as the government plans to initiate proceedings to recover 500 crore rupees and blacklist companies involved in fraudulent activities. The commission has scrutinized procurement totaling around 7,000 crore rupees and examined over 51,000 documents. In response, the Bharatiya Janata Party is calling for the SIT to remain free of political bias, urging that the probe should not be targeting its leaders from the COVID era. Let's also listen in to what H.K. Patil has to say.
Mr. Kuna, who was appointed, whose commission was appointed to investigate into into COVID-19 irregularities. He has given his first interim report, and in the interim report he has suggested for recovering 500 crores in the first interim report itself, and he has also spelled out appropriate further actions to be taken. The government, after considering the interim report, has decided that SIT is to be constituted, and also the cabinet subcommittee to monitor the investigation and the actions that are initiated.
We welcome the move of Karnataka government for setting up an SIT for investigating the healthcare scam during the COVID. But the SIT should not be biased to making sure that the unproven will be proven as guilty.
All right, let's quickly go back to Harish, who continues to stay with us. Harish, that a cabinet subcommittee will be overseeing this entire investigation, one that comprises, in fact, the Deputy Chief Minister himself and, of course, various other Karnataka ministers. How is one to ensure that this entire probe is going to be unbiased and fair?
Well, two reasoning given by the state government here. One, they are saying this cabinet committee will just overlook or monitor. The probe will be done by the SIT. And the other argument is that the SIT will act as a body that will register FIR, and the basis for it will be the Justice Michael D. Kuna Commission report. And they are saying Mr. Kuna is somebody who has great integrity. He can't be influenced at all. He's somebody who convicted Jayalalitha in a disproportionate asset case, and his report is the basis for the SIT to act upon. So there is no question of political witch hunt or any unfair prosecution of any opposition leader. That's the argument. But the timing definitely is under question, because it's been more than a year since this government came to power, and it's only now that we've started seeing some heat increasing on BJP leaders, especially on the cases or alleged corruption that took place during BJP regime.
Harish, that's why I wanted to quickly ask you, why are they calling this entire case or coming back to the limelight now as part of an entire revenge politics that's being brought in by the Congress party? The BJP is, of course, in its defense saying that the Congress party can feel the heat of the Muda scam, and that's why they are resorting to vendetta politics.
Well, the BJP is referring to the timeline of events. They are saying it's been more than a year since this since Congress came to power, but they haven't moved much on some of these alleged scams. It's only in the last month or so that we are suddenly seeing a cabinet subcommittee that's overlooking into at least 7 to 8 scams that are currently under investigation, whether it's the 40% allegations against the previous government, whether it's the PSI scam, various other scams. It's only now that the cabinet subcommittee is moving. They're also saying that even in the H.D. Kumaraswamy's mining case, the Lokayukta suddenly got active only after Muda came into picture, and the heat increased on the Chief Minister. And even in this case, even in the case of the COVID scam, they are saying it's only now that suddenly we are seeing the government move swiftly on ensuring that the investigation takes place, SIT is formed. So that's why they're questioning the sequence of events, the timing of it.
All right. Many thanks to you, Harish, for bringing in all those inputs. In fact, let's now quickly shift attention over to Telangana. Unidentified persons vandalized the idol of goddess Durga at a pandal in Hyderabad's Nampalli on Friday during the early hours. Tensions have flared up ever since at the exhibition grounds. Immediately after the news spread, police are also reviewing the CCTV footage and talking to people to identify perpetrators. BJP's Madhuri Lata has also visited the vandalized pandal after the attack and slammed Telangana's government over this entire matter. Hindu outfits have also led the protests in Hyderabad against this vandalism. We bring you the reactions.
You have come here to pray at the DT. This is where the DT was vandalized. Yet another incident coming to light from Hyderabad.
Exactly. This is yet another vandalization. And these people think that they have done a great thing. Now look at, how do we think that somebody has done great things? Suppose you launch a rocket, you think it's great. Suppose you fight for your nation, you think it is great. Suppose you help orphans, you think it is great. Suppose you are a very good, pious, religious person, you think it is great. But your people think great by vandalizing Hindu deities. Now look at the culture that has been given to them. Look at the civilization that has been given to them. They are not understanding. They have fallen off so much by being just a human being.
24 hours are going to pass now, and there has still been no arrest in the case.
No, it's not 24 hours. Let me give you a clear picture. It has happened early morning between 3 to 5 today. So, when I requested the police department, they've said, just please give us time by today night. But nevertheless, we'll give time till tomorrow morning. And by this time, if they have not caught the right persons and punished them to the extent that next time such thing would not repeat.
This is very, very disturbing news. The Bharatiya Janata Party Telangana condemns this kind of act because the festival season is going on. Durga Mata, goddess, we do puja. So many sentiments and attachment is with that. So we demand the Telangana police and Revanth Reddy's government to take an immediate action that who is responsible for it. We have a benefit of doubt that some people wanted to divert the attention of the people, specifically wanted to create some kind of ruckus. This is not at all acceptable. We demand a thorough investigation. The police should act and then put these people behind bars.
Right, Swastika Das is joining me live on the broadcast. Swastika, ever since this vandalism took place, we've seen the kind of outcry it's led to among the devotees and the protests that it's leading to, especially in Hyderabad. What is the sense that you're getting on the ground, and also what has Hyderabad police got to say in its defense?
Well, definitely there's a lot of outcry and outrage over the incident, but talking about the facts of the matter with respect to the investigation, police have interrogated one suspect, and we're given to understand that the main accused is still not been arrested by the police. What we're also learning is that the person or the culprit has been identified as a vagabond. He entered the premises, the mandap specifically, when the guard or volunteer looking after the mandap had just stepped out for some personal reason. That is when, in a bid to steal something from the idol, he breaks the idol and then and that's when the entire vandalism took place. So politically, even though there have been accusations that this is a politically motivated incident, but the police have categorically said that there is no religious or political angle to the matter. The police laxity at this point in time is the fact that they have not been able to zero in on the accused, the main accused, and that is definitely a lapse that's being pointed out. But with respect to the accused itself, the area where the entire exhibition ground is, there are a lot of drug addicts and slum dwellers, and it's being pointed out that some random vagabond entered the premises, and that person could be behind the incident.
All right, many thanks to you, Swastika, for bringing in all those latest inputs. We'll keep coming back to you as and when more information pours in. But for now, it's time to slip into a quick break here on Nation at 5. Stay tuned.
Lights!
Welcome back. Now, a fresh political row has erupted in Lucknow after Sapa chief Akhilesh Yadav was barred from entering the Jai Prakash Narayan International Centre in Lucknow's Gomti Nagar area. The JPNIC, as it's popularly known, was barricaded with tin sheets when Akhilesh Yadav went to visit the venue to pay tribute to socialist leader Jai Prakash Narayan. Samajwadi Party workers gathered outside Akhilesh's residence and staged a protest against the Bharatiya Janata Party. Yadav has slammed the BJP, alleging that the barricading was done to prevent his entry at the venue. He also alleged that the government is preventing his entry because it wants to sell the site at a low price. The JPNIC, on the other hand, has already released a statement saying that Akhilesh was stopped due to ongoing construction at the site. The BJP has accused the Sapa of trying to politicize the matter for political gains, adding that Akhilesh has failed to follow ideals of Jai Prakash Narayan. Currently, forces have been deployed outside Akhilesh Yadav's residence and along the route to JPNIC. Sapa workers have also gathered to protest against this entire matter. We bring you some reactions.
ये सरकार क्या चाहती है? किसी महापुरुष का सम्मान नहीं करने देना और इसलिए नहीं करने दे रही क्योंकि भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लोगों का योगदान भारत की आज़ादी में नहीं रहा है। वो ऐसे तमाम महापुरुषों से चिढ़ करते हैं, नफरत रखते हैं। इसीलिए मैंने भी कुछ देर पहले कहा था, नीतीश कुमार जी मुख्यमंत्री बिहार उस आंदोलन से जुड़े रहे हैं, संपूर्ण क्रांति के आंदोलन से जुड़े रहे हैं। जेपी जी के साथ और उस समय के समाजवादी लोगों के साथ उन्होंने काम किया है। ये मौका मिला उन्हें कि जो लोग जेपी और लोकतंत्र का अपमान कर रहे हैं उनसे समर्थन वापस ले।
अखिलेश जी, आपको याद होगा कि पिछले साल भी जबरन JPNIC में दीवालों को फांद करके कूद फांद करके वहाँ क्षतिग्रस्त करने का इनके कार्यकर्ताओं ने काम किया था। चूँकि वो बंद पड़ा है, JPNIC बंद है वो बिल्डिंग, तो वहाँ सुरक्षा कारणों से वहाँ बंद पड़ी बिल्डिंग में अनुमति चूँकि माल्यार्पण की नहीं दी जा सकती है, तो यहाँ विकास प्राधिकरण ने, लखनऊ विकास प्राधिकरण ने कल ही अवगत करा दिया था अखिलेश जी को कि वहाँ माल्यार्पण किया जाना सुरक्षा कारणों से कतई उचित नहीं है, इसलिए अनुमति देने से इनकार कर दिया था LDA ने।
कि बहुत सारे लोग समाजवादी लोग सरकार में हैं जो सरकार को चलवा रहे हैं। बिहार के मुख्यमंत्री जी भी हैं समय समय पर, जननायक जयप्रकाश जी, उनके बारे में वो उन्हीं के आंदोलन से वो निकले हैं। ये मौका मिला है उन्हें भी, ऐसी सरकार जो समाजवादियों भाइयों को जयप्रकाश जयंती के दिन याद नहीं करने दे रही है, उस सरकार से समर्थन वापस ले लें, क्योंकि बिहार के नीतीश कुमार जी इसी आंदोलन से निकले हैं।
ये बयान हैरत अंगेज है। केवल लोकनायक को श्रद्धांजलि तक ही सीमित रखना चाहेंगे अखिलेश यादव जी, या जीवन मूल्यों के लिए लोकनायक जयप्रकाश नारायण आजीवन संघर्षरत रहे, संपूर्ण क्रांति की अवधारणा दी और उन्होंने परिवारवाद, वंशवाद और व्यवस्था के परिवर्तन को लेकर जो आह्वान किया, अगर लेश मात्र भी अखिलेश यादव जी ने उन जीवन मूल्यों को तरजीह दी होती तो एक परिवार का संपूर्ण आधिपत्य समाजवादी पार्टी पर नहीं दिखता।
उनको माला पहनाने के लिए रोक दिया गया। इससे ज्यादा दुर्भाग्य, इससे ज्यादा इस देश की आज़ादी के लाने वाले लोगों के जन्मदिवस पर माला पहुंचाने के लिए रोकना, उसको ढक देना और उसके लिए परेशानी पैदा करना, अवरोध पैदा करना, ये देश की आज़ादी के और देश के लोकतंत्र पर माथे पर कलंक है, जिसको समाजवादी पार्टी किसी कीमत पर बर्दाश्त नहीं करेगी।
देखिए, अखिलेश यादव जी राजनीति कर रहे हैं। जो नोटिस जारी किया है वो स्पष्ट करता है कि अभी कंस्ट्रक्शन इनकम्प्लीट है। अगर अखिलेश यादव जी को इतना ही सच्ची नीयत से इंटरेस्ट होता तो वो अपने ऑफिस के अंदर भी जयप्रकाश नारायण जी को नमन कर सकते थे। दिक्कत यह है कि आज समाजवादी पार्टी जयप्रकाश नारायण जी के आइडियल्स को भूल चुकी है। अगर उन आइडियल्स को फॉलो करती तो कांग्रेस पार्टी के साथ अलायंस नहीं करती। आज इशू ये है कि हरियाणा की बुरी हार के बाद पूरा का पूरा इंडी अलायंस पॉलिटिकल स्टंट करने पे आ चुका है।
देखिए, ये सरकार की मंशा अच्छी नहीं है। आप पहले भी देखे हैं, पिछले साल भी इसी तरीके की चीजें की गई थी और गेट बंद करके रोका गया था। इस बार भी आज जो चीजें सामने आ रही हैं कि पूरी तरीके से उसको ढक दिया जा रहा है, तो मुझे लगता है कि ये जैसे इन्होंने बनारस में सर्व सेवा संघ को ध्वस्त किया और एक अच्छी खासी जगह को बर्बाद किया बनारस में, इसी प्रकार ये आज जयप्रकाश नारायण जी की आज जयंती है। मुझे लगता है कि शायद उस स्थान को भी पूरी तरीके से ये ध्वस्त करने के लिए और किसी न किसी बड़े व्यापारी को बेचने की तैयारी में होंगे, इस नाते ये सारी चीजें कर रहे हैं। निश्चित तौर से ये सरकार पूरी तरीके से तानाशाह है, तानाशाहों की तरह ये बर्ताव कर रही है।
नियमों को तोड़ना और कानून को अपने हाथ में लेना एक समाजवादी पार्टी की संस्कृति सा बन गया है। सुरक्षा कारणों से लखनऊ विकास प्राधिकरण ने उस स्थान को किसी भी आने जाने के लिए प्रतिबंधित कर रखा है। अखिलेश यादव जी स्वयं बड़े नेता हैं और उत्तर प्रदेश जैसे राज्य के मुख्यमंत्री रहे। उनका ये प्रयास केवल मीडिया में सुर्खी बनाने के लिए, मीडिया में अपना स्थान बनाने के लिए है। जेपी के सिद्धांतों का समाजवादी पार्टी मार्ग से भटक चुकी है और आज जिस प्रकार से अपराधियों को, बलात्कारियों को, अनैतिक काम करने वाले माफियाओं को संरक्षण देना समाजवादी पार्टी की एक पहचान सी बन गई है और निश्चित रूप से ये एक राजनीतिक उनका फैसला है। प्रदेश, देश की जनता सब जानती है।
All right, so as far as Akhilesh Yadav is concerned, he's of course trying to make this about the entire socialist movement going back to the 1971, saying that the BJP government in power has no respect for socialists in the country, precisely why he's also called for Nitish Kumar, who's part of the overall alliance, to in fact quit the NDA alliance and in fact join the socialists. On that note, let me quickly bring in Amit Singh of News18, who's joining me on the phone line. Amit ji, agar pura broader political नैरेटिव देखा जाए तो जेडीयू ने ऑलरेडी उनको काउंटर अटैक कर दिया है सपा को। उन्होंने कहा है कि अगर जयप्रकाश नारायण की ही बात हो तो उनकी कोई भी ऐसी क्वालिटीज़ नहीं है या वर्च्यूज़ जो कि अखिलेश यादव ने अपने आप पे अप्लाई किए हों या पूरी पार्टी पे।
जी हाँ, बिल्कुल। देखिए, क्योंकि अखिलेश यादव जेपी के प्रतिमा पर जब नहीं जा पाए जेपी एनआईसी बिल्डिंग में, तो उन्होंने जब मीडिया से बात की, जब हमसे बातचीत की, तो उन्होंने उसमें नीतीश कुमार का नाम लिया और कहा कि जेपी नारायण के आंदोलन से ही में शामिल हुए थे। जेपी नारायण के साथ बहुत क्लोजली काम किए हैं नीतीश कुमार। आज वो बिहार के मुख्यमंत्री हैं, लिहाजा उन्हें सोचना चाहिए कि इमरजेंसी जैसी हालात की उन्होंने बात की अखिलेश यादव। तो इस पर हिटबैक किया है जेडीयू ने, और जेडीयू ही नहीं, अब बीजेपी भी हिटबैक कर रही है, क्योंकि बीजेपी का भी साफ साफ ये कहना है कि जब कंस्ट्रक्शन वर्क चल रहा था जेपी एनआईसी बिल्डिंग में, तो ऐसे में कैसे पुलिस प्रशासन इजाजत देते अखिलेश यादव को कि जाकर जेपी एनआईसी में जाकर जेपी के प्रतिमा पर वहां पर माल्यार्पण करें। तो इस मामले पर लगातार पॉलिटिक्स हो रही है। नीतीश कुमार की पार्टी जेडीयू ने तो अखिलेश यादव को फीडबैक किया है इस मामले पर, वहीं बीजेपी भी लगातार अब हमलावर हो गई है।
जी, हमें ये सारी जानकारी देने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। On that note, let's also listen in to some more reactions that have come in. Of course, the JDU has been very steadfast about how, in fact, Akhilesh Yadav is somebody who has indulged in dynasty politics, and that to, in fact, allude or talk about garlanding a personality like Jai Prakash Narayan doesn't really suit Akhilesh Yadav. Let's also listen in to other political reactions that have come in.
देखिए, बहुत ही दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है। पिछली बार भी मैंने देखा था कि भाई गेट लांघ कर जाना पड़ा अखिलेश यादव जी को श्रद्धांजलि देने के लिए। तो मैं समझता हूँ कि एक भारत की दूसरी आज़ादी के योद्धा, जिसको मैं कहूँगा लोकनायक जयप्रकाश नारायण जी, जिन्होंने संपूर्ण क्रांति का नारा दिया, करोड़ों नौजवान उनके पीछे चले, देश में आपातकाल ख़त्म हुआ, देश के अंदर 2-2 साल तक लोगों को जेल में यातनाएं दी गई, सज़ा काटी उन्होंने, तो गिरफ्तार करके जेल में डाला गया। तो मैं समझता हूँ ऐसे व्यक्ति को श्रद्धांजलि देने से आप कैसे रोक सकते हैं? आप अपनी राजनीति ये साबित कर रहे हैं कि जो आपातकाल पहले लगा था और जिस आपातकाल के खिलाफ लोकनायक जयप्रकाश नारायण जी लड़े थे, वही आपातकाल आप उत्तर प्रदेश में लगाना चाह रहे हैं।
The great man Jayaprakash Narayan, because he is known for his respect for democracy, constitution and secularism in India, and he took the lead in the struggle against emergency. Such great people's memory should be remembered, and their education, their teaching should be followed by the people in this country. But obstructing his place to enter by common people or other people, it is totally against the insult to this memory of these great people.
All right, news and updates will continue, but after a quick break. Stay tuned to Nation at 5. Welcome back. Now, even as attacks on Bangladeshi Hindus continue in Bangladesh, the golden crown of Ma Kali of Jeshwareshwari Kali temple located in Bangladesh, Satkira, has been stolen. The golden crown was personally donated by Narendra Modi during his visit in 2021 March. India has, of course, raised strong objections on this entire matter and has demanded strict action against the accused. Top government sources, in fact, tell CNN News 18 that Bangladesh government has been made aware of this entire incident, and of course the High Commission in Bangladesh is deeply disturbed and has of course demanded strict action. Sources tell CNN News 18 that the attacks on Hindus continue in Bangladesh. Hindus are not being allowed to worship idols and are only allowed to worship printed pictures. Islamic songs, in fact, are playing between puja and vandalization of pandals that's continuing at various places. We bring you a reaction.
देखिए, हिंदू स्वाभिमान यात्रा हम बांग्लादेश में हो रहे हिंदुओं पे अत्याचार नहीं बर्दाश्त करेगा हिंदुस्तान। अब समय आ गया है हिंदुओं को एक करने का, हिंदुओं को एक होने का। हमारे पूर्वजों की भूल हुई कि बंटवारे के समय अगर टोटल मुसलमान चला गया होता पाकिस्तान, तो आज हमारी ये दुर्दशा नहीं होती। ये दृश्य आखिर क्यों? हमने तो कभी तजिया पर एक पत्थर नहीं फेंका।
All right, so as far as the entire run-up to the Durga Puja in Bangladesh is concerned, reports have emerged which are indicating that there have been consistent vandalism of the various Durga Puja pandals. Even, in fact, idols of the goddess Durga have been defaced during that entire run-up to Durga Puja. We all know that there has been a lot of upheaval ever since there was the fall of the Sheikh Hasina government, where Hindus and other minorities like Christians and Buddhists continue to be targeted. On that note, let's now shift focus over to the state of Maharashtra. Just ahead of the Maharashtra Assembly polls, the Maharashtra cabinet has decided to request the union government to increase the income limit to qualify for non-creamy layer to 15 lakh rupees per year from the current limit of 8 lakh rupees annually. Top NCP sources have told CNN News18 that Ajit Pawar was unhappy with several proposals drafted and left without approving them. Now, the sources have told CNN News18 that there was a discussion which happened where a disagreement took place between the Chief Minister Eknath Shinde and Ajit Pawar over clearing of a few proposals. Soon after the argument, Ajit Pawar left the meeting without approving these proposals. Later, Pawar told CNN News18 that he did not leave the meeting after an argument but left only after with the permission of Chief Minister Eknath Shinde and Deputy CM Fadnavis for a pre-scheduled program in Udgari. Ajit Pawar has called important press conference at 6:30 p.m. All the NCP leaders will be present during this press conference.
They are playing this jumla and trying to seek voters. But the people of Maharashtra have understood this is nothing but to fool them, because these schemes will definitely not fructify when times to come. They have announced increase in salary for the madrasa teachers. Leaders of the BJP and the Mahayuti are constantly making statements on the madrasas. So the point now is, will these leaders accept this decision, or will they keep quiet because they are greedy of power and they want to be connected with them? Also, things like schemes on creamy layer have been added here, but the point is, all this is only done to play to the gallery and woo the voters.
मेरे ख्याल से संजय राउत भ्रम में है। वोट जिहाद करने वाले उद्धव ठाकरे वोट जिहाद करने वाले संजय राउत की सैलरी नहीं बढ़ाई है। जो तनख्वाह बढ़ी, जो शिक्षक है, टीचर्स है, जो हमारी आने वाली पीढ़ी को सुशिक्षित करती है, एजुकेट करती है, तो उनको आर्थिक सक्षम करना ये तो किसी भी सरकार की जिम्मेदारी है। शिक्षा और आरोग्य ये सरकार की प्राथमिकता होती है, और वह करते समय वो कौन से धर्म का है वो भाजपा नहीं देखती है।
मंत्रिमंडल में ये निर्णय पास होने के बाद मुख्यमंत्री और मंत्री जी ने, सारे मंत्रिमंडल ने ये जो निर्णय है वो केंद्र सरकार के पास सौंपा है, और कुछ ही दिनों में ये निर्णय केंद्र सरकार के पास से पास होकर महाराष्ट्र की जनता को इसका लाभ मिलने वाला है। खास करके ओबीसी समाज और मराठा समाज के जो विद्यार्थी है उनको इसका लाभ मिलने वाला है, जिसकी वजह से पूरे महाराष्ट्र के ओबीसी समाज और मराठा समाज में खुशी की लहर दौड़ रही है। मैं भी इस निर्णय का स्वागत करता हूं।
All right, we'll continue to bring you more breaking inputs, but after a quick break. Stay tuned to Nation at 5.
Lights!
Welcome back. We're getting in breaking inputs. In fact, we are learning that the Enforcement Directorate has registered an ECIR in the Delhi drug bust case. This comes after the Delhi police earlier claimed to have busted a syndicate with the arrest of 3 men, including 2 foreign nationals, along with the seizure of cocaine worth 3.3 crore rupees from their possession. The Delhi police special cell, remember, had busted a drug trafficking network, seizing 200 kilograms of cocaine worth 2,000 crore rupees is also, that was from the Ramesh Nagar warehouse earlier. In fact, let's quickly go across to Anshul, who's joining us with more inputs. First of all, Anshul, what is the status of the accused? Because we are learning that he perhaps is at large still. And secondly, what are the details that have been shared in these ECIR?
Well, yes, this is one of the biggest drug busts that has happened in the national capital over the past many years now. And what we are being told that Enforcement Directorate has finally gone ahead and registered an ECIR in this entire matter, where they will go ahead and investigate the money laundering angle in this entire matter. Because remember, the drugs that have been busted in the national capital itself over the last 10 days that belong to the same syndicate is of approximately 7,000 crores. So there was this huge cache of drugs that was already in the national capital. This drug, these cocaine was actually supposed to be supplied to other parts of the country in smaller packets, and Delhi was actually one of the centers from which the entire cache of drugs was to be supplied to other parts of the country, and it was busted over here. So definitely it was one of the biggest catches that has happened in the recent past. And now the Enforcement Directorate had in fact asked the Delhi Police of few of the details in this entire matter, and now they have finally registered an ECIR in this entire matter, and they will start the investigation. If we talk about the main accused, the kingpin of this entire international drug cartel is still unknown, is still at large. The police at this point in time is trying to join the dots and trying to find out from where did these drugs actually originate from, and how did it eventually come into India.
Right.
So this is something that is being investigated, but yes, it
and
remains to be seen
absolutely,
what
this entire seizure, in fact, is of course also indicative of the fact that this entire drug bust is also linked with another one that took place some days ago. Many thanks to you, Anshul, for bringing in all those inputs. Sorry to have interrupted you there because we are running short of time, and with that we slip into a quick break. Welcome back. Now, amid the security operation against Hezbollah in Lebanon, there's pressure on Israel after the IDF opened fire on UN peacekeepers in Lebanon. The United Nations interim force in Lebanon has hit out at Israel, saying, and let me quote, "Any deliberate attack on peacekeepers is a grave violation of international humanitarian law and of the Security Council Resolution 1701. Recent escalation along the Blue Line is causing widespread destruction of towns and villages in southern Lebanon, while rockets continue to be launched towards Israel, including civilian areas." In fact, we're getting in breaking inputs on this very story amidst these allegations by the UNIFIL against IDF for targeting locations near the Blue Line in Lebanon. Israel's foreign minister has written to the UN Security Council. He's urging them to investigate Hezbollah's deliberate placement of assets near the UNIFIL posts. He also talks about the risk to peacekeepers and calls for global concern over Hezbollah's tactics. That's the big story that we're getting to you, because remember, the UNIFIL has been very vocal ever since that attack by the IDF took place. They said that they are, in fact, they have several contingents over there as far as the entire peacekeeping mission is concerned along the Blue Line, and that the IDF dare not target the UN, which is against, in fact, it is a contravention against the Geneva Conventions, and that is what the UN body has been quoting ever since. But in its defense, important to also highlight that the IDF has said that the UNIFIL failed to, in fact, adhere to the resolution 1701, which was supposed to ensure the disarmament of Hezbollah, and that has led to this war between Israel and the Hezbollah. Talking about the situation in southern Lebanon, which is becoming increasingly alarming with a noticeable rise in gunfire over the past few weeks, efforts are underway to provide humanitarian assistance amid the escalating tensions. We at CNN News 18 spoke with UNIFIL's spokesperson, Andrea Tinetti, on the ongoing crisis and the support being offered to affected communities. Listen in to this CNN News 18 exclusive. First of all, let me begin by asking you about the situation on ground zero. Could you give us a sense, please? Is the United Nations interim force in South Lebanon also concerned for the safety and security of the UN troops?
Yes, the situation in South Lebanon is highly concerning. The shelling is ongoing and has been going for days. Of course, has been going on since last October, but the last few weeks there has been an increase in the firing and also IDF incursions inside Lebanese territory. So this, of course, is highly concerning. All our contingents are inside our bases, inside our positions. Monitoring capabilities have been we have not been able to monitor the area as much as we want to, because for the safety and security of our troops, it's important to stay inside the bases, but we are doing whatever we can in order to provide also information to the Security Council and to New York in order to get more information about the situation on the ground right now. But definitely the situation is very concerning, and we are doing whatever we can to de-escalate the current tensions.
Andrea, with your monitoring capability at the moment, can you confirm to us the extent of Israeli incursions inside Lebanon?
Yeah, based though, as I said, our this monitoring capability has been very challenged in the last week, but we have been monitoring IDF incursions in several parts of the south of Lebanon, very close to the blue line, areas like Marun al-Ras, Yarun, also close to Nakur in Labuni, and other areas. So there are like sporadic incursions, but as I said, it's very difficult to have a 100% understanding of where are they at the moment. But incursions are occurring and shelling is occurring very heavily.
Andrea, the current Israeli assault has triggered a mass flight from southern Lebanon, where more than 1 million people have been displaced and over 1,000 people have been killed in just the past 2 weeks. Many are still stuck. Are you able to help with aid and support for evacuation?
Yeah, as you said, over 1 million people have been displaced in Lebanon. From the south of Lebanon, only over 350,000 people have left. Population is around 500,000. So the majority of the people have left the south of Lebanon. Some of them are still in the south, stuck in certain villages. We're trying to do whatever we can to assist and to provide humanitarian assistance, but it's been very, very challenging. In these days, we are working